All this week, we're going to be talking about what makes marriage work. Now, I realize not all of you are married. It's good to be single and godly and glorify God in your singleness. Jesus was single. We like him, so we like you too. But the vast majority of people in our culture will be married, and we want to give you some practical help about how God's grace can make a marriage work. I want to start today by telling you about maybe the most controversial thing the Bible says about marriage. In fact, it's the most controversial word, the word submit. The Bible's whole theology of marriage, the whole plan that God has for our relationships is based on that word, submit. I remember a woman who once said I had to preach on that word at her wedding because if her father heard her take a vow to submit to her husband, he would throw a book at me. Those were her words. And so I got up to preach, and here's what I preached. I said the word submit is actually from a Latin word, two Latin words put together. The word sub, which means under, like a submarine is under the water, and mit, or mittere, which means to put or place. To submit literally means that when you're head-to-head with someone, when you don't agree, when you both can't get your way, that you voluntarily place yourself underneath another person's will. A simple way to say it might just be you first. Like when the vote is split, when we don't agree, I'm going to choose to put you first. That's what it means to submit in a marriage. And in Ephesians chapter 5, one of the most famous sections about marriage in the Bible, it says this: submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Essentially, a Christian relationship, a Christian marriage should be two people whose only competition is to put each other first more of the time. And I will tell you that in 9 years of being a pastor, I have never seen a struggling married couple who is that selfless. When a husband strives and a wife strives to say, you first. No, you first. No, I want you to get your way. No, I want you to get your way. That is when marriage thrives and is everything that God intended it to be. I remember when I preached the sermon at that wedding, a woman came up to me afterwards and she said that she was not a Christian and she was a feminist. And I braced myself because I knew it was coming. A whole sermon on submission. But I'll never forget her reaction. She said, Pastor, I don't know if I agree with everything you believe, but I really like what you said. Interesting, isn't it? The most offensive thing in the Bible is what the world is longing for, a relationship built on truly unconditional love and selflessness. Submission. That's what makes marriage work. We have heard so many great stories of people whose lives have been changed by the message of grace that we share on this program. And we would love to have your support. Your comments and shares have meant the world to us. But if God has moved your heart to give to support the production of these messages, we'd love to give you the chance to do just that. Whether it's a one-time gift or a recurring donation, you can find a link on our website to learn how you can support the spread of this message so that more and more lives can be changed by the grace that God gives to each and every one of us.